And we're off. This is Crossroads, an asymmetrical horror game akin to things like Forsaken, Forgotten, and, Dead by Daylight, of course, the original. In Crossroads, one of the core essentials of being the killer is your sword. That's your M1, your main attack, I should say. There are a total of 10 swords, 3 skin, 1 not taken seriously, so 7 in total. This video aims to talk about all those swords. The starter sword you're seeing here is the Corruptor, the start default sword. If anything, this is the best sword in the game, just off the rip. Its claim to its power is its default stats of 20 damage per swing, and you can swing again every 1.7 seconds. Pretty damn fast for a sword that does 20 good damage. It also applies a stack of corruption for 3 seconds, which stacks. The corruption effect is the little 1s and 0s on the target, which helps with seeing people who are invisible, but it also does some damage. This, for a starting sword, is stupid good, and it can let you save up for some of the better swords, such as Black Hole or Rainbow Question. Otherwise, this sword is essentially nothing to write home about, which is hilarious to say that after all I've said before. You're still watching, I assume. If so, this is the Venom Shake, one of the 2 purely elemental swords. Every hit applies what it says. In this case, Venom. Poison, as its own side effect, is decent. A silent killer. You can see a target who is poisoned because they'll be green. A very distinct, noticeable effect. Otherwise, it's just a standard damage over time effect. You'll probably write it off immediately because it doesn't kill, which is its main problem. It doesn't kill. The Venom Shank does 17.5 damage, like its fire variation. It does this every 1.6 seconds and applies Poison 4 for 3 seconds. The duration refreshes, it does not stack. If you don't like how blinding the player effect, the Firebrand is, you're most likely going to use this for just that. Otherwise, you get a good team going with you. I was talking about the sword earlier, wasn't I? This is Firebrand. If you played Forsaken, or even just a smidge of Cool Kid, you know the sword. But if you don't, this is the hottest sword on Earth. Each hit applies Burning 2 for 2 seconds. It does the same damage as Venom at 17.5. It does it literally 0.1 seconds slower at 1.6. So serious. Its claim to fame is its damage over time effect that you see there. It kills! That's all you're using it for. If it's not this, it's its chase theme. And if it's not that, then why are you using Firebrand? Use Venom Shake. The damage over time effect is much more vague, and it lets you get kills, as killing somebody with the damage over a time effect does not give you extra money or XP. It actually strips you of it. So, yeah. Cool. As the big brother, the ice dragon is a cool ass sword. TLDR. Anyways, the stats: 26.5 damage every 2 seconds, and as an added benefit, it has a 20/10% chance to either inflict or give the user slowness 2 for 5 seconds. A 20% chance to inflict slowness 2 is actually evil and is worth a 5% chance to gain a debuff just as bad, especially for 26 damage. As the complete opposite to Darkheart, Rainbow Prestige. Fuck it, I'm just calling it the Rainbow Sword. The Rainbow Sword, ignore the weird effect that looks like you're holding a paint bucket, is the weird inbred of all the swords, being the only good sword. As in, the sword itself is not evil, and it's not corrupting the target. The corrupted person is just using the good sword to tarnish the sword's name, I suppose. In this instance, Rainbow does 27.5 damage, and every 2.1 seconds, confused wrong. But it has a 10% chance to inflict confused and fragile 1 for 5 seconds. Or give the user speed 1 for 5 seconds. Not bad. This upbeat and bubbly, and most importantly, quiet chase theme has a good tail. For a sword used by the killer, the irony. I love it. Who the fuck do you think you are? The Megalovania of Outer Dust? This is the black hole, or at least the embodiment of the black hole. A sword purely made of said energy. This powerful sword does 22.5 damage every 1.8 seconds. It has a 5% chance to give the user power 1 for 5 seconds, or lock all survivor abilities on the target for 5 seconds. Really fucking good. I don't remember the sword dealing 22 damage at all. I could be fucking wrong. I thought it did the same damage as Darkheart. But who cares? I must have repressed that memory out of my mind. But this is my sword of choice. If you want a recommendation, this is the sword I like. It's good attack, combined with its great attack speed, and a good theme, though it's a little subtle. It's too subtle to be a chase thing. The sword I struggled the hardest to get any footage. So much so I actually changed one of my abilities. Usually throughout these recordings I've been using lunging strike, but ever since the recent update where they gave Tank a new ability and gave Rampage the entire time up, the wind up gives ESP, I started using Rampage, so this is working amazing. This is the best recording I can get. I hope it's not as bad as it looks. Darkheart is the strongest sword in the game at 28 per hit damage, at the cost of it taking 2.5 seconds to swing again. Just to remind you, this is 8 more damage than the default sword, which is the Corruptor. This sword either can give people blindness 2 for 5 seconds or slowness 1 for 3. These have an odd equal of 10% each, which is wild on its own. And, yep, this is the strongest currently available sword in the game. But it's the slowest. So, is it really, really, really worth all that power? I don't know. Combine Rampage, Raging Burst, and M1 a dude for 47.5 fucking damage? I want to say no. Absolutely fucking not.
PlayStation.
Alrighty then. Before we end the video, I wanted to quickly mention a few things that I had on my mind, or at least I wrote down here. Corruptor, Darkheart, and as of recently, Ice Dragon have alternate skins. Corruptor has a pity corruption Scarlet, i.e. Finn's oldest sword from the show, as a skin. With its own theme, of course. Ice Dragon has a skin called the Dragon Splash, which looks cool. I haven't seen anything on it, so take that with a grain of salt. And White Pumpkin is the Darkheart skin, based on the Minecraft story, another character, yada yada yada. You know, you've seen them for a few minutes. All have unique chase themes, and it's recommended that you see those as well. I spent way too long figuring out how to try to calculate the damage type for the Venom and version. Those are stupid as hell. The Baldi's Rule is a sword in the game. It's its own sword, but I didn't use it. And Darkheart was the one that I struggled with. I actually have to re-record Black Hole. That's how bad I suck.